is George Bush. His home is Houston, Texas. He's a Republican candidate for the United States Senate. He will need your votes on May 2nd in order to win the Republican primary, and he will need them again in November if he is to win the Senate seat, now held by a liberal Democrat, Ralph Yarborough. We who work for George Bush, who know this remarkable young man, who travel with him on his never-ending campaign trips through our wonderful state of Texas, want George to win in May and again in November, almost as much as George himself wants to win. George has a high regard for the United States Senate and believes both that august body and Texas deserve better representation than they're getting today. I'd like for you to come with George on one of his recent campaign swings. Campaigning is hard work, but it's also fun, particularly if you're working with someone like George Bush. He's relaxed and easy, and he laughs a lot, but he works constantly toward his goal of becoming a United States Senator from Texas. This little jaunt we're going on took George to San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Brownsville, McAllen, Harlingen, La Feria, Alice, and Kingsville, as well as to the fabled King Ranch. So far, we've traveled by car, plane, both private and commercial, train, bus, and on foot. We haven't ridden an ox cart yet, but I'll bet we do before the campaign is over. It's a hectic life, but then getting to be a senator from Texas makes it all worthwhile. Here we are in San Antonio, and that handsome young Texan is Scotty Light, a real workhorse in George's campaign. We visited the Alamo, of course. George's political philosophy is a lot like those of Bowie, Crockett, and Travis. They believed men should stand and fight for right, no matter the cost, and that individual freedom is the only true freedom. George Bush believes this way too. Here's how he puts it.
The freedoms we cherish and live with, even in these times of federal intervention, are almost incomprehensible to most of the people of the world. If we have a mission in the world, it is to foster and promote these ideals of freedom so all the people on this globe will understand what it is we value so highly. We can do this only by leading the way to freedom through a strong, firm foreign policy. We must end the vacillating, dilatory policy this nation now pursues. We must, through courage and determination and even shrewdness, let our friends know we are with them and our enemies know we will stand against them. We must cease trying to buy friendship. Let's place our tax dollars in the friendly hands of those who would, like us, seek a true freedom, emphasizing the traditional individual rights as guaranteed under our Constitution. This is the policy I will pursue if I'm elected to the United States Senate in November.
George Bush is and always has been a Republican. He's a conservative, responsible man whose only goal in the race for the U.S. Senate is to bring America back to a position of strength and prosperity and to extend freedom throughout the world. We ask you to support George Bush in the May 2nd Republican primary and again in November's general election, so Texas can be properly represented by a man who has Texas' best interests at heart all the time. Vote for George Bush in the Republican primary May 2nd.